Welcome to the Agents Lounge podcast, where we talk all things real estate with the industry's top performers. Join us as we dive into the inspiring journeys of successful agents and uncover the secrets to their success. Whether you're a seasoned agent or just starting out, we got the tips and tricks to help you navigate the world of real estate. Brought to you by Airtegrity Comfort Solutions. So grab a seat and join us in the Agents Lounge.
Welcome to the Agents Lounge, a podcast where we sit down with successful real estate professionals to hear their stories, learn their strategies, and gain insights into this dynamic industry. I am your host, Marco Salinas, and joining me today as my co-host, the owner of Airtegrity Comfort Solutions, my buddy, Francisco Bermudez Jr. Say hello, Francisco.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the program, and we're glad to have you here, and we're glad that you're my co-partner today in crime. I'm excited to introduce our guest for today's episode. Joining us is Mr. Alberto Murillo. He is a real estate agent with LPT Realty,
That is
correct?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Murillo has been in the business for about 12 years now.
Yes.
And so today we're going to be having a conversation with you, and we're going to be asking you some questions, and we're going to be learning more about your journey to real estate. So, Alberto, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. Also joining us, we have a co-guest as well, Mr. Felipe Alvarez, and he is the owner of Perma Chef. Perma Chef.
Correct.
But if you're in Mexico,
Perma Chef.
Perma Chef. Okay. And Felipe has been here in the States running this business for 8 years. But I think the most phenomenal thing of all, which we'll pull some of this information out, we'll talk to you, is that the business itself has been owned and been running in his family for 102 years.
Exactly.
Right?
102.
102 years. So as well, Felipe, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for the invite.
We are very excited, and so we're going to have an amazing conversation today. We're going to be talking to both of you guys, and this is a business podcast, so we're going to be learning about your business, and we want to know about a little bit about your background, a little bit about what makes you guys unique and what makes you different. As far as real estate is concerned, Alberto, it's a crowded space.
It is.
Right? A lot of realtors, and sometimes I'll be on Facebook, and then somebody will make the tragic mistake of posting and saying, "Does anyone know a good realtor?" And then you get like 100 comments.
Yes.
Right? So there's no shortage of real estate agents out there, right? But here's the crazy thing: when you look at the statistics, though, the majority of them are doing this very much part-time.
Correct.
Right? There's only a very small percentage that are really, really running this as a full-time business, correct, that are really making and earning a living. Now more than ever, it's challenging, yes, right? So there were a lot of realtors that were just like, man, if you went like this, okay, we got a house for you, in 2020, right?
True.
Do you have a post? Let's do this. Okay.
Yes.
But that's not the game anymore, right? That's not where we're at. So before we dive into all that, I like to give our guests the opportunity to give us kind of what I would call like a little bit of an elevator pitch.
Okay.
Can you give us maybe like a 30-second about just kind of expand on what I was saying? You work for this company, you've been around this long, and what you kind of feel like is maybe let's call it your unique selling proposition. Sure. Who do you kind of specialize in working with, that kind of thing? Give us maybe a 30-second to a minute of that.
Sure. Okay, so I started, like you said, 12 years ago, and whenever I started, I was running coffee shops. I was my entrepreneur side kicked in, and so I had a couple of restaurants, and also I have a telecom background. So I was doing also telecom assistant a company in the Netherlands. While they were sleeping, I was running the business over here. Yes, I was their network operation. Whenever they were sleeping, I was doing their networking support, level 2.
Okay.
I had the coffee shops, and then that's whenever I got my real estate license.
Okay.
As a extra income, like you said, I believe probably 80-90% of the people, that's how they started. Part-timers kind of.
Sure.
Because even though you pass your exam, that means nothing. It's still learning curve is high and steep. So I've done it for 12 years, but in the last 5-6 years, a really good friend of mine, partner in crime, they asked me, "Hey, I want to flip a property." I was like, "Okay, let me get it, I'll get back to you." Long story short, we've done 60+ flips here in San Antonio.
Wow.
And built a couple homes here in San Antonio. And we learned, we bled. We've done a lot of mistakes. We lost a lot of money too and made some money too. So
of course, I
believe that's my unique specialty.
Sure.
Not only, I don't like the investor friendly. I'm consider also myself an investor. We were able through acquiring properties and rehabbing them. We were able to now keep a couple of properties through a strategy called BRRR, which is buy, rehab, rent, and then refi.
Oh,
so,
nice.
So through what I believe and the reason I'm really committed to this is. Sure. I believe the age of the real estate agent that is doing it full time is around 45 to 55 years old.
Okay.
And I believe I'm 45, and I believe that I don't want to be doing this type of rodeo, competing with 25,000 realtors here in San Antonio. So I decided to deep dive and create and use real estate to to build my retirement. That's what it comes down to.
Okay, got it. So you've been able to also, as you're helping others to do flips and things like that, you're also working on your own stuff.
Correct.
You're also building your own portfolio.
That is correct,
so to speak. So you're practicing what you preach.
Yes, sir.
As well.
Yes.
I like that. Very cool stuff. Okay, let's pause right there.
Okay.
And let's switch over here to Felipe. Okay. Can you do the same for us? Give us about a 30-second to 1 minute elevator pitch. Tell us what you do, who you focus on, who is your primary target market, and tell us a little bit about also the Mexico operation as it's different from the San Antonio, or let's call it the United States market.
Sure, thank you. Well,
Sure.
again, thank you so much. As you said, 102 years. It was my great-grandfather and my grandfather who started the business down in Puebla, Mexico. And long story short, they started doing dress shirts for gentlemen. In those days, there was no starch for the collars and the sleeves. And my grandfather was a crazy guy, inventing a lot of stuff. Every time he could, he was thinking how to improve things. And I think that's my father's heritage, because he's always thinking in the future, and he's great doing that. And they were doing that, and he invented this fabric where you can add that mix to the collars and the sleeves, and it will be permanently starched.
Okay.
This is important because we're Perma Chef.
Ah.
That's why I always start with that.
Yes. I like that.
So business was running. We changed from dress shirts to nurse caps, and then from nurse caps with that fabric to chef hats. And then that's what made us start with Perma Chef. We started with the permanent starch chef hat for chefs, and then we started with chef coats and pants, aprons, and all those things.
Yes.
My father ended up buying the business. He didn't want to, because there was they are 9 siblings, and he started buying from all his brothers and sisters.
Okay.
He ended up keeping the business because he didn't want to sell it to someone else because of the tradition, the history.
Sure.
And he decided not to go to the fast route where he was going to be only like an outsource for everyone. He wanted to create a brand based on service, based on quality, and based on accomplishment. Where he said what he said, he
did
delivered.
Yes.
He did.
Yeah.
So that's when Perma Chef started going into our house, and I was watching my dad, like, he's working a lot, and one day he said, like, hey, I need help, we're growing, and I have a lot of things we need to fill out.
Yeah.
I was in college, and I was like, no, I don't want to work with him.
Yeah.
You know what?
You just want to party.
Yeah. Well,
no, I'm kidding.
I was a professional golfer in that time.
Okay, got it.
So I wanted to play golf instead of working, but I got involved with the business, fell in love with it, and now I'm here trying to expand. Mexico is sourcing all what we do here in the States.
Okay.
We opened this business, as you said, eight years ago, with the illusion of having, this growth in the biggest country in the world. And right now we're on our way to achieve that.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And I just want to do a plug in that they did our shirts.
Very nice.
Our hats.
Very nice.
They do a great job.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, so you produce Air Tegrity's
Now,
uniforms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically.
They are
very nice.
Our customers, great customers.
Very cool.
And I wanted to say something fun, because Beto is actually my real estate agent.
Oh, very nice.
So it is fun we're here in this
Yes.
table
Wait.
together.
Exactly.
Well, that's the purpose, right? To
Yes.
kind of like connect with
That's it.
like-minded individuals so we can grow and, help each other.
100%. 100%.
Thank
So now we have established pretty much the whole connection here.
Yes.
Right. Everyone at this table here on this podcast is interconnected in some capacity.
And I believe everybody's in next too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, man, we took it to another level. I noticed that you had the bracelet. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's very cool. That might be a different podcast though.
Yeah. Other one.
But that's fantastic. That's awesome. Okay, beautiful story, amazing. And we're gonna switch back over a little bit more towards the subject at hand here, which is this is the Agents Lounge. We're here mostly to talk about real estate, but obviously we love our extra guest, and he has an amazing business, an amazing story. It's not every day that you see any business that's been around for over 100 years. It's extremely rare. So, boy, do we like to talk about that. But we want to learn a little bit more about Alberto Murillo, right?
sir.
So a big part of your business are the flips, right?
Yes.
That's where it seems like you've kind of established yourself, right?
Yes.
I love the fact that you mentioned though that you guys kind of dove into that without really, you didn't have an instruction manual,
No.
right? So it was all kind of like blood in the streets, learning as you go, making probably some expensive and painful mistakes, right? And then saying, how do we make sure that we don't do that again next time, right? Right? Are there any that come to mind? Any stories that you can share from those, an example of a real painful lesson, especially maybe something that ended up kind of bad, but then you were able to still maybe turn it into something good or maybe even profitable somehow, or maybe on the next one it was. Is there anything like that you could share?
Probably there's 2 or 3 golden nuggets for when it comes down to flipping a property, at least in Texas, San Antonio. The first one, I can literally put in an Excel spreadsheet and calculate excellent return on investment, right? How we're going to sell it, for how much we need to maximum purchase price, taxes, everything can literally be put in an Excel spreadsheet. The golden nugget is the X factor is what a big company, telecommunication company, should not be saying branded names. Anyways, the X factor is the human element. Literally, something that I cannot put in an Excel spreadsheet is that contractor, that how long it's going to take, if they're going to perform, if they're going to pull permits, if they know what they're doing. So that babysitting, that experience that you've been getting through different contractors is the one that it will be really, really difficult. So you're about to, or probably you're relating whatever I'm saying is that ex-human element, which is the human element. It sucks.
Yes.
But I guess applies to any industry. Restaurant industry applies to, and all the other industries. And then the second one is whenever I say location does matter, in my specific world, which is the investing, the company where I lost most of my money, it was not because I didn't purchase right, not because I didn't acquire the right funds, not because it was not a good deal in the Excel spreadsheet. It was because it was in front of an elementary school. I could not sell that property, even though it was well priced. It was a beautiful flip, even modern European cabinets.
Interesting.
The whole 9 yards in that flip. Great location, which is West Avenue in Blanco, a little outside, really close to Castle Hills.
Yes.
I could not get an offer because literally buyers will drive up, will see the elementary school, and they will say, nah, I don't want to be in front of the school. It was crazy. It was a home run for us. It didn't, and we lost more than $25,000. So that will be the second one.
Yeah.
Location doesn't matter. Yesterday, somebody pitched me, sent me a property. Literally, I saw the property, the backyard of the property. It was the ramp of 35 and 281.
Okay.
I was like, nope. Maybe if I will hold it, maybe if I put a renter in there. But as far as, you need to walk through the buyer's shoes and see the emotional part of that process. So that will be the third golden nugget, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're going to flip, you have to see also the intangibles, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Right? Whenever what the buyers put the shoes on and see what they feel, the neighbor, whatever it is, because it's not about the Excel spreadsheet, it's about the human element.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense. Alberto, is there ever a market not for flipping? Or is there always an opportunity to flip, whether the market is booming or whether the market is a little bit tight like it is right now?
In my opinion, there's always an opportunity to do it. Is it going to take you a lot longer? Yes. My analogy is in a really good market, which is a down market, probably you'll have to kiss 10 frogs and you'll get the prints. Yeah. But this one I need to be kissing 50, 60. So I need to be analyzing a lot. I need to hustle a lot longer, a lot deeper, right, to find out that specific so I can find the prints. But there's always opportunity in the market.
Wow, that's really interesting. I remember there was a period there where, have you been in San Antonio for
20 years?
Okay. So I remember kind of like around the late 2000s there, like 2008, 2007, 2006, there was a television show that was super popular about this subject of like flipping. Mm-hmm. And there was a guy who was, from San Antonio, and he was a big personality, right? Kind of controversial, right? Yeah. He kind of made that show, I think, right? Because of his personality. Yes. He doesn't know who that is, but that's okay, because they talked about it on other episodes. But it got really, really popular once that show came out.
Yes.
And so then I noticed that a lot of people were watching the show, and I knew people that were like, dude, I can do this, man. I watch a show and I see how, I can figure this out based on the television. And then some of them went and tried it. And there was more to just watching the television show. Yes. Right? Yes. There was a lot more actually than just watching it on a TV show that's been heavily edited. And, maybe there's even the outcome was scripted in a sense, right?
Yes.
That's not really the way these things work. And what I found was that when the people would get into it, because all they would see at the end of the show was, here's what we paid and here's our profit. And they were like, I can do this, man. I can do this. Look at all the money. I can make 30 grand. I can make 50 grand, right? But kind of what you were saying earlier, like you have to go through some of these and probably make a lot of mistakes and lose a lot of money before you get to that point where you're really making those real profits like that, right?
That's correct.
So is that really truly an illusion when you see that on there, that you're not going to just jump right into it and all of a sudden come out of this thing on your first flip making obscene amounts of money, and then the next one, and then the next one, right? That's not realistic, is it? For those that might be interested in doing it on their own, they probably need some real coaching, real guidance.
Yeah. It has not been realistic for us. It has been, trial and error. And there was very specific example that people will sell properties, distressed properties to me. And he was saying, look, you can make $30,000 in this flip. I was like, yes, but let me explain you why I'm not buying this property. You're buying this property for this much, right?
Yep.
Then, but let's flip it. I cannot sell it for this much, right? You determine the value. So for this much minus holdover, minus cost of money, minus what your purchase cost is, minus what you want to do, minus repairs, minus. Eventually, you're going to get to the maximum purchase price.
Sure.
Then that you have to account how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
If I told him, look, let's put it to the I believe the rule of the simple is let's divide the $30,000, divide it in 6 months, divide it literally for a week.
Yeah.
It will be a lot easier for me to get a job over there at $15 an hour.
Yes.
Than me making $30,000. Literally, whenever you go to the nitty gritty, it doesn't make sense. And yes, a lot of people will think $30,000, that would be amazing. Not necessarily. So that's whatever I meant to say. What I called underwriting is important. You put your numbers because you make money when you buy.
Sure. And that's like, heaven forbid, if you were also doing like a hard money loan or something, right? Because a lot of these flips use hard money loans.
Yes.
Can you explain real briefly what a hard money loan is?
Pretty much, it is the private lending. You won't go through traditional financing. It will be private lending. And this pool of investors, or sometimes it's just one, which I have private lender too, they will risk their money, but knowing that you're buying the property 50 cents to the dollar. That means that if the property is worth $1, you're buying at 50 cents, right? So the risk is minimum.
Yes.
Yes, they will charge you a lot more interest because they know that you're going to turn around and sell that house for a profit.
Yes.
So again, that's pretty much in essence what a private lender, a hard money lender is. You're going to pay a lot of higher interest rates,
high
right?
interest, so yes.
High
risk, high interest.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, but for me, in my experience, it has not been the cost of money, it's the availability of money for me to make it the right decision. So, yes, if it's 18% interest rate within 6 months, just put it in an Excel spreadsheet.
Sure.
And if it's not within your return on investment, then don't buy it.
Sure.
So the cost of money, in my opinion, yes, it's better to find cheaper money.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
But at the end, it's just cost of doing business.
Yeah. Now, what happens if you default on a hard money loan? What happens to the house that you're working on?
It's like a regular bank. They will foreclose on you. They'll take the property away from you.
They get to take the house.
Yes.
The hard money lender
Yes.
does. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here in Texas, we have a deed state.
Yes.
So you pretty much are giving them a deed of trust or a mechanic's lien or a vendor's lien with the power for them to take the property from you.
Sure. So before you take on a hard money loan, you better make sure that you're working with something where you have a very high likelihood to get this thing sold and out of your hands within a reasonable time frame.
Yeah.
Right?
The second other mistake is whenever I said the human element about contractors, but also repairs, a lot of people will say, "Nah, you can do this with $20,000."
Yeah.
You know better. So you better assess your risk on repairs, and one and two that has been lately really well noted is the city of San Antonio. In the last 5 years, they created something that's called the strike team, and the strike team is a really elite force of individuals that are inspectors. They're hunting down people that are repairing the properties without pulling permits.
Oh, I see.
So that will be another good conversation where the city and everybody's trying to flip, but they don't do it right? Lawsuits.
Government intervention.
Oh, yeah.
In some way, yeah.
In a way, it's good, but in a way, it has been really difficult.
Of course, yeah. No, the government's going to always be like, we got to get our cut, man. We're going to get paid first before you, right? That's just the way the government always works with any business, right? They're always trying to kind of like, they have good intention, but a lot of times it ends up making things just more difficult for the business owner. But that's just it's the way it is. You have to accept it, and you have to say, well, we're going to have to factor this into the equation as part of this whole entire process. We're going to try to circumvent the government and go around them. It'll probably come back to bite you later.
Yeah,
probably,
that's
right?
correct.
Yeah.
There was
Not
a
worth
little
it.
quick story where
Please, yes.
we got a plumber. That plumber, we added the washer and dryer connections. We pulled the permit. Everything was fine. The city inspector come in and declined inspection. We were like, nope, failed it. We were like, why? Because you didn't use the right glue. We were like, what do you mean? The plumber used the yellow, and that's for hot water.
Yeah.
You should be using the blue. Like you just said, literally, I want to flip. I can do this. No, you can't without the right people, with the right contractors, with the right companies, like Integrity, with like Perma Chef, with that much experience. It's going to be a really, really stiff curve.
Golly, man.
And it's real easy to find people at Home Depot that'll say, hey, I can put flooring, I can do electrical, I can do HVAC. And then they show up to the job site without a ladder or on flip-flops. And can't do it, and then it ends up costing the investors a lot
I can
more
do it
money.
cheaper.
Oh, yeah. And what happens if you say, you know what, I'm not going to call Integrity this time. I'm going to call my brother-in-law's friend. And he comes over, and because he's got such a great deal, and he's going to save you all this money, and then he injures himself on the property or something like that, right? You know, do those type of situations happen? Do things like that happen? And
Yes,
can
sir.
that really cost you big in the long run?
Yes. Lawsuits. I went through a couple of lawsuits, and not necessarily that topic, but
Sure.
at the end, everything. This country is based on suing the other party.
Right.
So,
We're in a litigious society.
really
Very
litigious
much.
society.
Yeah.
But a quick topic is, if you're gonna flip a property, you need to understand that whatever you do with that property, you're liable and you're responsible for it.
Yeah.
And a new homeowner is gonna live there. So whatever you do and you cut corners or you don't know the right code or you don't put the right, they're gonna sue you.
Sure.
Right? Because you're supposed to know, and not everybody can flip a property.
So, Alberto, I have a question for you. Somebody out there that's looking to invest, what's usually the best way to get started? Or how would you help them?
I believe is find a mentor. Find a mentor. There's honestly, if you want to know something, either you don't have internet or you don't want to. So that's where you start. But at the end, the mentor, somebody is like, oh, watch out for this, watch out for that. Is what something that's not teachable or not. People are not sharing on social media. So, my opinion, find a mentor, find somebody that has done it many times before you, and
give them a good cut of the action. Make it worth their while.
So, I mean, some people, I'm open book. Some people will reach out to me and, I'll spill the beans, even though I shouldn't, but that's who I am, right?
Sure.
But some other people, we'll charge you, and you just like anything else. Go, compare, review, trial and error. And
do you have any favorite hobby or favorite restaurant that maybe somebody can bribe you with to,
right?
to get some extra?
That would be great. Well, of course, I'm from Mexico, born and raised in Cuernavaca, and we just said about that. You paid Mexicans with tacos and beer, so I'm always with food, and you bribe me with that. That's for sure.
What about you, Felipe?
Restaurant?
Yeah. What's if somebody wanted to learn more about the business in general from you, or wanted to learn about how to make these type of nice, uniforms like that? What is this? Is this the key to getting into
That might be
into your heart?
A good cigar might be
a
an
good cigar.
option.
Yeah. Or it sounds like the golf course too.
Yeah, golf course will always soften me up.
Yeah, very much so. So that's your main hobby. That's the main thing that you do with your free time.
Yeah.
Is golfing.
Yeah,
That's how you
love
unwind.
golf. Yeah,
Does that bring down your blood pressure?
a lot. Even just
He's
hitting
really
some
good.
golf balls.
How about yourself? What do you do during off time when you're not selling real estate? You're not flipping houses.
In the last year, well, because of him, I'm jumping to the golfing too. I'm not really good, but I'm learning literally from the best. He's a really good player. And last year, it's been a year I started taking the pickleball.
Oh,
The
yes.
famous pickleball.
Yes.
I've lost 50 plus pounds.
No
and I have
kidding.
it's awesome.
And you
And I want to say something. When I first went with him to play pickleball, he was average.
okay.
Man, I think he's the best player right now.
Wow.
Where we play.
And
We're getting there.
and would you really honestly attribute the majority of your weight loss to just playing the game a lot?
Yeah, I believe if I can say that I've been consistent in my life in one thing in the last year, it's been pickleball. I'm playing 2 hours a day. And the
Every day?
reason,
Every day?
day.
Wow.
Only Sundays is off. Wife would not allow me to play
Yeah.
on Sundays. But I believe the formula for me has been that I'm having a blast though. I
Yes.
don't go to exercise. Literally, I go and play. So the word play, I play pickleball.
Yes.
It's just like a kindergarten kids like come back to class. It's like no, I don't want to. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to work.
You don't wanna
I
leave
wanna-
recess.
I don't
Yeah.
want to recess.
Yeah.
I want to keep playing pickleball. So I think that's my formula. I haven't diet. I haven't done anything. Well, now I'm incorporating alkaline water, but literally, it's just be consistent with exercise. But
Yeah.
at the end, it's just playing.
Sure.
Once
yeah.
you fall in love with what you do,
Right. It doesn't feel like exercise.
no sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Another question for you, Felipe. Did you have any kind of focus here in the U.S. of any type of particular business that you guys are really trying to corner that market? Are you pretty open to anything? What are you trying to specialize? Anything right now?
Well, yeah. Right now, we started with the restaurant industry.
Okay.
We started meeting a lot of great people. There are many restaurant owners that are really, really amazing. And right now, our focus is to keep growing on the restaurant industry, but also start with hotels.
Yes.
In Mexico, we're great with hotels. We have a lot of big chains, and we haven't started like trying to get in contact with them. So
Yeah.
I think that's the next step for the next couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we just got to get you in front of those decision makers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then those doors will start to open, and then you take them to the golf course, and then probably one final stake, and it's a done deal.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. We have lost only one customer, and it was because of the price.
Okay.
But since we got here, it's been great because once they start working with us,
Yes.
we might be a little slow, or sometimes there are things we're producing. We're not just buying and selling. But I think our service and our commitment is great. So that's why whenever one's in our house, they never want to leave.
It says a lot.
Yeah.
It says a lot. And again, the longevity of the fact that the business has been there so long, right? It also speaks volumes.
Yeah.
So you guys are definitely doing something right. No question about it.
I think in the world of AI, everybody's getting bombarded with AI, automation, right?
Yeah.
Cheaper prices, built somewhere else, shipped to the U.S., etc. Now more than ever, in my opinion, the customer service, the one-on-one, I'm here for you, I can fix it. Sure, it does matter more than anything in the world
100%.
of now. AI is taking over, which I'm not against, right?
Sure.
Processes and procedures.
You got to run with it. Yeah.
You have to run with it, but that differential definitely will.
100%. 100%. Now, if I could ask you guys a favor, have either of y'all ever had any experience working with Integrity Comfort Solutions, either for yourself or for your clients? Have either of you? Is there anything that either of you could say about them and your experience with them?
Yeah, absolutely. They've done our AC in our business. We have a storefront, and man, they're really great. They take care of everything. They literally, whenever they get there, they start explaining what they're gonna say. They check everything. They give you all the parameters. They explain you if you need something, and they're just great following up. Whenever they show up, they're professional. They look great, also.
Right.
And they're really good.
Okay.
Really good.
Now, do me a quick favor. Tell me that one more time, but can you say it in Spanish?
In Spanish.
Same exact thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
One more time. Yeah.
Son muy profesionales. Cuando llegan, te explican desde el principio lo que van a hacer. Te explican lo que están haciendo. Van contigo en el proceso. Si hay algo más que hacer, lo vuelven a explicar y dan muy buen seguimiento y además lucen geniales.
Love it. Thank you
Of
very,
course.
very much. How are you getting customers? What is your strategy right now for lead generation? Is it referrals mostly, or do you have a system in place to find new leads?
Referrals, definitely. After you've done enough of the right work, fighting the good fight, customers will come back and refer you. I think that's what now my sphere of influence is what is giving me most of my business. But yeah, social media, keep running ads. You still have to be out there. You have to be creating videos and thank you for the invite, etc.
Yep.
As far as integrity, somehow the real estate agent becomes the source of the source. That's what my first broker taught me. And don't ever be the source of the source. That being said, we're supposed to know, contractors for this and lawyers, attorneys. Literally yesterday, a friend of mine texted me and said, do you know somebody that builds websites? And I was like, what does that has to do with real estate? I have no idea, but because I have a techie background, I was like, sure, and literally referred two people.
Yeah.
That being said, today, I don't refer just anyone. That's really, really important because, long story short, I referred somebody, they didn't perform, and I felt like, what it is. So
it's on you.
It's on me.
Yeah.
Even though I was not responsible, everybody
right.
said, well, it's not responsibility. Yeah, but you're referring, and because you refer somebody, therefore they're trusting them because they trust you. So that's really important. And people have reached, do you know AC company? I refer them out. So literally just a very few companies that refer out, and Integrity is one of them.
And you've had a good feedback from your customers.
Absolutely.
And things like that. Yeah.
I believe the best feedback is whenever you don't hear anything back.
Right.
Because we
Very
live
true.
in a society that if something goes wrong, people are going to raise
You're
their
gonna
hand
hear
and
about
they're gonna review it.
Very much.
But if I haven't heard anything, I know it went well, and of course they're thankful.
Sure. You got any final parting words?
I mean, thank you for joining us today and for those beautiful words. It means a lot to me.
Yeah. You have a lump in your throat?
Yeah, I had a lump in my throat. I can't really
Let me tell you something. Actually, they will visit my house this Friday because that's who they are.
There you go. You go. Alberto Murillo, a real estate agent with LPT Realty.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you
How
for
can the listeners, the viewers, how can they reach you if they want to talk to you more about flipping or real estate in general?
This is my cell phone number. This is my personal number. So don't scam. Don't let's call it don't scam me. Then spam me. But 210-313-5623. 210-313-5623. That will be the best way to do it.
Very, very good. And Felipe,
Yes.
this is again Perma Chef.
Perma Chef.
Or if you're in Mexico,
Perma Chef.
Perma Chef. Okay. Best way to reach you as well. What's the best? Do you have a website or
We do have a website, permachefusa.com, and our phone number 512-212-7888.
Perfect. Thank you as well.
Thank you
for being
so
a
much.
visitor. It's been a pleasure talking with both of you.
Thank you.
And great conversation. I learned a lot already here in just this short little 30-minute conversation. And I hope it was fun for you guys as well.
It was.
Really fun, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Francisco.
So on behalf of Integrity Comfort Solutions, the show sponsor in the Agents Lounge, that does it, guys, for another episode, and we will catch you here next time.
You've been listening to the Agents Lounge podcast, brought to you by Integrity Comfort Solutions. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or to listen to past episodes, please visit agentsloungepodcast.com.